Right boys, what's going on? So today we're going to be looking at the new 88 rated Future Stars. Probably going to struggle with this name. I know his first name is Amine, it's pronounced Amine. I've done my research to try and not butcher this name so I don't want to offend anyone. And I used a French translator, and honestly I couldn't find it because I don't think his last name is an actual word in French, so I couldn't find it. So we're just going to go by his first name, which is apparently pronounced like Amine. So if you guys are French or in general you just know how to pronounce his name, let me know, because I feel like saying Gouiri is completely wrong. Now without further ado boys, let's get into it. If you guys are new to these objective guides, what we're going to do is we're going to go over all of these objectives. I'll give you guys my tips and tricks, and then we're going to go to a squad builder. Obviously we'll check out the requirements, which I already know what the requirements are because we did these Chukwueze, once again another hard name to pronounce. Yeah, give us some easy name objectives like Matt or something like that. But anyway boys, without further ado, let's get into it. So starting off, we've got scoring outside of a box goal in 2 separate matches in the live FUT Friendly Ligue 1 Liaisons. Now obviously for the outside of a box goal, you could go for a mad finesse shot, something like that, or you could do it the easy way, which I would say maybe you can do this, maybe not. It genuinely just depends. You could give it a try. It's like a small risk, massive reward. All you got to do is pause the game, message your opponent, download the PlayStation or Xbox app on your phone, and you can like pause the game, see the gamer tag, because obviously if you search your name through the console, I think you got like 30 seconds and then the game will kick you out. So what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to message them. You can copy and paste and say, hey man, if you let me get an outside of a box goal, I'll let you do the same, then we can play out from 1-1. If you guys want to do that, if you really are struggling, because I know scoring from outside of a box can be relatively tough, but hey, maybe you could just try go for a massive finesse shot, maybe a chip shot if your opponent rushes his keeper out, something along those lines. As well, you probably will find a few people that do jam their controllers after scoring 1 goal for the score in 10 separate matches objective, so you can take advantage from that, try give it outside of a box goal in that scenario. Assist free goals using French players in the live FUT Friendly. Now the assist free goals is absolutely perfect. You do need the French players, which is fine. It doesn't have to be in separate matches. You can get all assists in one match, and it can be with separate players. So you could get like, you could have a French centre mid, let's say Coquelin, and you could have Bamba. You could get 2 assists with Bamba, 1 with Coquelin. Boom, that's going to count as 3 assists. It doesn't have to be with the exact same player. Future success, win 4 matches, then score in 10 separate matches. Another game mode where golden goal is going to be very effective, and obviously we will get into it, into the golden goal rule shortly for those of you that don't know. As for the requirements, you could say, the friendly requirements, it is the exact same as the Samuel one, except obviously it's a Ligue 1 version. So you need exactly 18 Ligue 1 players, at most 1 loan, and you need 5 first owned players. Now it doesn't clarify if you can have those 5 first owned players on the bench just to be safe, or put it in the starting 11 just to obviously make sure, because then we don't want to have them on the bench and then have it not count for you guys. So without further ado boys, let's get into the squad builder. The squad builder is going to be done a little bit different. I'm going to have to do it on the spot because obviously searching your club for the first owned players, you don't know which first owned players you actually have, right? So I'll have to adapt. I'll also give you guys some cheap players that you can use, like a cheap Ligue 1 striker I think's good, a cheap Ligue 1 left mid, etc, etc. Without further ado boys, let's get into it. Right, so obviously you need to search your club for first owned players. Now searching for mine, I've got this Kabore card, which is actually really nice. We got him from my player pick in the 25,000 coin pack. He is a Ligue 1 and he counts as first owner, so I'm going to just chuck him in, why not? So that's my first owner. Remember, you need at least 5. I believe everyone else here should be first owner. Yeah, they are all first owner. So Paqueta's first owner. We get my goalie Envia, who's another good looking first owner player. Not too much great looking cards, I'm not going to lie. We don't really want to use a silver card. So the probably best ones, at least it's a 71 pace centre back. That's our 4 first owned, and Toko Kambi can do the job. As you can see, we've got our 5 first owned players. So make sure you guys search your club for that as well to make sure you get them in, and obviously put them into the correct positions. This is why we can't do our usual squad builder, because everyone's going to have different first owned players to work around. But instead what I can do is give you guys some of the best players I reckon you should be using to complete these objectives. I've got the 5 first owned players in. Now let's start off boys with the Ligue 1 strikers. The Ligue 1 gold rare strikers is actually very limited. I believe you've got like the Benguetta is like, he's like the one that's the only mid-tier one, if that makes sense. You've got Jonathan David and Dudlot, who are like, you know, the lower tier cheap beast, and you've got Ben Yedder, who's mid-tier, and you've got the high tier of Mbappe. As you can see, the gold rare Ligue 1 strikers in Volland and Icardi are not really ideally usable, are they? So for this one, we are going to use Jonathan David and Bodu as our two strikers. Two very good Ligue 1 players. Obviously, make sure to get the French players in, no boys, because we have still got no French players in. So what we are going to do is we're going to go and get Jonathan Bamba. I know he's a left mid, but we're going to play him at right mid because our left mid is Toko Okambi's place. So we're going to get him in there. Obviously, if you guys don't have Toko Okambi, you could be playing Bamba left mid. But we got our French player. I probably want another French midfielder as well, so we can get those objectives done. And as for the lower tier, or I say the lower tier, the cheap beast for the gold rare midfielders, I am going to say Claude Maurice and also Guendouzi along with his Fofana card. Houssem Aouar as well is a very good shout. So you got Guendouzi, Fofana, Aouar, and obviously you've got this Claude Maurice card as the 4 French midfielders. They don't have to be French, but preferably because you need to get the French assist. The other 4 midfielders, I think, is the most worth it. As for the defense, heading on over to Ligue 1, you can obviously get rid of the French filter if you want. There is a left back who recently moved to Watford, and that is Kamara. Now, he is the only gold rare one. I don't think his card will be on the market, and if it is, it will be very expensive. So we are going to have to adapt to that, and we're just going to have to use a gold common. Looking at these gold commons, this dude, I believe, is quite tall. He's not tall, never mind. For some reason, I thought he was much taller. He looks taller in his profile pic, let's just say that. So we'll chuck him in, he looks usable. And as for the other gold rare centre back, I usually go for Denea. You could go for Kimpembe if you want, but Denea does a job as well. So obviously your first own players will probably look a lot different to mine, but this is a team I have built. You've got the cheap beast in there. This is probably only like a, disregarding the future stars player, like a 9 or 10,000 coin team, and it will definitely get the job done. Like I said, usually we build the squad like ready and then we cut to it, but I do have to show the process because some of you guys will be confused with the first own players. Next up, if you guys do remember the objectives, it is you need at least 18 Ligue 1 players. So that means you need your full bench of 7, because obviously you're starting 11 plus a 7 on the subs. That is going to make 18 players in the total team. Remember not to have any players on the reserves, lads, because it'll put it over to 19, right? If you have even one reserve like this, we've got 19 players in the squad and you need exactly 18. So just fill out your bench with a random Ligue 1 side. You've got a cheap meta team, you got your 5 first owner players, happy days. It's going to get it done quite nicely. Now heading on over to the tips, lads, our first tip is going to be golden goal, which going off of what I said earlier, golden goal is so effective. I highly recommend doing it. I know lots of the community, they understand what golden goal is, but if you guys don't know, it's a little bit of an unspoken community rule. I'd say about 80% of the people in this game mode are doing golden goal, and it is going to be so effective. Essentially, if you score first, your opponent is going to pause and quit, and if you concede first, you're going to pause and quit, because if you concede 10 minutes in, you go 1-0 down, literally quit, hop into the next game. You can get 6 or 7 games done by the time it would usually take to complete a full 90-minute game. Golden goal is very effective, and if you are doing it, I do recommend changing your team name to golden goal, so when your team does load up and your opponent sees your team name, he'll see golden goal, and he'll be like, okay, sweet, my opponent's doing golden goal. Maybe they weren't planning on it, maybe they were like iffy, but they see your name of golden goal, they're like, alright, let's play some golden goal with this dude. Then if you score first, he might quit, and obviously if you go down, you can quit. Just don't be toxic, don't force anyone into doing it. If you don't want to do golden goal, fair enough, but personally I think it would be silly not to. You can get, like, if it's done in an hour, but if you weren't to play golden goal, it would take like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, because obviously you have to play out each and every single game. Heading on over to tip number 2, it is going to be chemistry styles. Now I'm going to head on over to my footbin view, and let's take a player for example in this team. Let's take Jonathan David as an example in this team. I love his honourable mentions card. I'm currently using him on my main team. Am I going to be able to find his name, please? Jonathan, for some reason David wasn't popping up for it, so it should pop up now. Jonathan David. Is my footbin boys, my footbin is broken. Where is Jonathan? Okay, we're going to have to use this card. We'll have to go to his gold rare that way. I have no clue what happened there, but as you can see, Footbin, I'm not sponsored by them. I just do recommend using them. 850 coins on both consoles, 750 on the PC. As you can see, 78 rated. And the beauty of Footbin, you can test out different chem styles. So my point is, with chemistry styles, you can chuck them on, and it will improve their in-game stats and make them feel better in-game. As you can see, he's 78 rated, but chuck a marksman on him, he goes to an 83 rated card in-game. So he's going going to perform 5 ratings above his actual rating with a marksman. He gets a +8 shooting, +8 dribbling, +5 physical. You could go for a hunter, puts him to an 82, gives him some insane pace and some insane shooting. So essentially all it is just chucking chemistry styles, giving them that boost in game, and it will make them perform a lot better in game. You don't have to go and buy hunters for your attackers because they are 2,000 coins, or shadows for your defenders. As you can see, I'm on my road to glory. I've got like no chem styles at all, but I could go out and buy a hawk for 300 coins. It will give a shooting boost, a +5 shooting, a +7 or +8, a +5 pace, a +7 or +8 shooting, and like a +5 passing boost, or physical boost. Sorry, it's a hawk, isn't it? So if you want to go out and spend a couple of 100 coins on a hawk chem style, then you can do that for your 2 attackers, and it might just give them that extra edge in game, and who knows, that might be the difference between winning or not. For example, Paqueta, I could chuck an engine on him. It gives him a +5 pace, around a +7, +8 passing, and around a +6 or +7 dribbling boost. So he's going to feel a whole lot better. His dribbling's going to feel more responsive in game, and I believe he goes to an 83 or 84 rated card in game, performing that 2 or 3 ratings above what he actually should be. So tip number 2 is going to be chemistry styles. Lads, that is basically it. Make sure you get the first own players in. Make sure you get the chem styles on them. Obviously, I've shown you guys some of the cheat beats that you can use. Now, just to recap over the objectives, once again, the score an outside of a box goal in 2 separate matches. You could either try and give it outside of a box goal normally, or you could message your opponent and say, if I let you score 1, you let me score 1, then we can play out from 1-1. Assist 3 goals using French players, which is your Claude Maurice or your Bamba. Win 4 matches, and obviously the score in 10 separate matches. The score in 10 separate matches you could get done in an hour if you do golden goal. Hope you guys did enjoy. It's been your boy Davis, and until next time, see you later, boys. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if this did help you out.